I feel like lately when I wake up and I want to know what's moving me forward and motivating me to exist and be a better human being is nothing except pleasure seeking. And I don't like it anymore. And I'm so sick of only existing because it feels good. And I want something that's more fulfilling out of life. And I keep searching for what that is. And I think that I find it and I pursue it. And then I realize, like, it's not fulfilling me the way whatever it is that I'm looking for. And then sometimes I find it when I wasn't even looking for it. Like, I'll just be at the store and have a weird interaction with the cashier and make me realize, like, oh, like, there's a human behind those eyes. And we exchange smiles, and I walk away, and I find myself just like enjoying existence for a brief moment without even realizing it. So it's like when I think about how I feel, I'm confused and I think I'm like looking for something. But then when I stop thinking about it in general, I find myself just really enjoying being alive. And I don't know, I don't really know where these emotions come from, but I find like waves of sadness throughout the day and then they just like go away and I don't even know why they're there because I'm actually really happy with my life. I feel like it might just be things trapped within me, like that I might have gone through in the past that I need to heal.
Yeah, I feel like it almost feels like we just get so caught in like the rhythm of our lives. Like we do things like making food and doing laundry and these different tasks throughout the day. And I don't know, it's like we're not like looking inward. We're not like trying to live in the moment and actually like enjoy our lives. It's like it's like with driving, for example. There were so many times where, I wouldn't even realize I'm driving after a while. I would just like turn my brain off and decide that I don't really want to try and experience being in this moment. I'd rather just kind of autopilot.
Yeah.
And I totally feel what you're saying. Like, I get in those same moments, and the only thing that wakes me up out of it is like, wanting to like help people in some way or express myself creativity, or like you said, like just a moment of like genuine human interaction. Like we don't realize how sobering those things can be because it feels so rare to actually experience that sometimes.
Yeah, I think I forget that that's actually what feels good to exist as a human being. Like when I look into my future, I see I want more stability and I want more of this and more of this, and everything is progressing all the time. But really, what I want is more fulfilling relationships, more friends, more genuine human interaction, more unconditional love coming my way. People in relationships where I can be myself to the fullest degree and feel reciprocated and feel seen. But it feels like I can't have that for some reason. Like, it feels like I have to just accept less and just like learn how to be alone and be with myself. Like I really like myself, but I know there's cool people out there, but I feel like it's hard to have close relationships, genuine interactions.
Yeah, it's almost like you forget how good it feels to be out in the world, having a genuine experience. It seems like our body tells us to just seek comfort, like pleasure. Like it feels so much more natural to sit in my bed here and even doing something productive, like working on my book or learning Spanish or something. Like part of my body tells me like that's what life is about. Is like that kind of pleasure and comfortability. And like it feels good to some extent, but pleasure is just like dulling. Like over time it starts to just like lose its, I don't know, magic, you know what I mean? Like it's only good when you haven't had it in a while, but the thing that's like always fulfilling and always so meaningful and actually makes you feel alive instead of just like, intoxicated is like real experience. Like
Mhm.
when we went to that Muay Thai fight, like that was just the craziest, sickest experience in my entire life. Like suddenly I woke up and I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, reality's cool. Like there's fun things to do.
yeah, both of those were so crazy. And there were things that we couldn't have even imagined doing. We just stumbled upon them because we were out existing in the world, like out of our comfort zone, not being led by a destination, but just being led by the journey.
Yeah,
And when you don't Like when you stay in your comfort zone, you live today like you did yesterday. You're seeking something that you know to be consistent that you've already felt before. But I feel like something new is always more exciting and makes you feel alive. Like every time I go up that hill on the motorcycle to get out of this apartment building, I start to like feel alive because all of a sudden I'm risking something. And then I get over the hill and I see the rainforest and the palm trees and the sunshine. And it's almost like, I think the best emotion to describe it is exhilarating. Like it feels like, holy shit, like I actually exist and I spend so much time in a box that like actually getting out into the world and seeing nature and feeling what it's like to be in a body, like maneuvering quickly through the world.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm the sort of person, maybe it's just because my mind has such a hold of me, but I almost don't want to like go out of my environment unless I have like a real reason to. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to just go out like aimlessly. Like I want to have some like journey, some adventure in mind to motivate me. But the reality is when you just put yourself out there, when you get outside your comfort zone, it feels like all these opportunities start to just arise. Like suddenly, someone's passing out like a ticket and they're like, oh, come to this Muay Thai fight. Like, just, it's almost like we're just led in that direction. It's not something we were consciously deciding, but the opportunity was like available to us because we were out in the world.
Yeah, we are so open to opportunity. We found more than we have this entire trip in that one day because we were out, trying to just find new stuff, meet new people, and find cool opportunities.
Yeah, it
Now that you
takes.
broke your arms, it's like hard to get back out to the world.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Like, it takes a lot of energy to like want to go out and pursue those opportunities. Especially like there's this opportunity cost to like go out there. Like you get more energy through those experiences, but like to try to like step outside, it's like it feels difficult. And like you said, like with my arms, like I could go out into the world. I could walk all the way up that hill. I wouldn't be able to get on the motorbike and it'd be way more uncomfortable to take that big walk than just be driven up there. But even then, like I could have an awesome experience if I was willing to put in the energy to walk all the way into town. I could still go
Yeah,
to a Muay Thai fight, like,
I think you should, dude.
yeah.
Walk up that hill every day. Walking up those steps every day to the parking lot has made my legs so strong because every single day I walk like 500 steps or more.
I
They're
know.
really steep. And when I first started, I had to take like multiple breaks of the steps. And now I skip steps and I'll pretty much like run up from here all the way to the parking lot just to push my legs every single time I
It's
do.
like to get into town, it would be probably like 2 miles uphill. Like I'd start getting that like Spartan, like my arms are broken, but my calves and my quads are getting like massive.
Yeah.
It'd be so crazy,
Eventually,
dude.
we'd just be jogging up the whole time. It probably only takes like 5 minutes.
I know, like David Goggins would tell me, like, what are you doing laying in bed with two broken arms? You gotta start working your legs out.
He's like, you can still do squats.
He's like, you can still do Muay Thai, like you don't need your arms.
Big people.
Yeah. Gosh, I
Yeah,
know
for
it.
real.
It's almost like, honestly, it's hard to admit this, but part of me feels like because I broke my arms, I've almost like given myself a pass and an excuse. Like some part of me is like, it's okay that I stay inside because it is a giant thing to walk all the way up that hill. But some part of me knows I'd be infinitely more fulfilled and a better version of myself if I put in the energy to just walk up the hill and be out in the world. And it's like, in a way, it's a metaphorical thing, but also like quite literally. I'm being held back by this distance of this hill, like this thing you have to walk up, this energy you have to put in. Like it's
Mhm.
almost this great, challenge that's being posed to me by the universe, and I've been like failing it because I haven't considered it the challenge that it is in a way.
Yeah, I think it's worth the investment. Being in nature, getting the sunshine, getting some time away from your regular environment. It's so stimulating. And being just in the rainforest next to all the nature is so peaceful. Like, there's something about it. I feel like the trees, the ground even emanate like negative ions that are healing to my body. It just feels so good to exist among the water and all the branches.
Yeah, for real, like, just to connect to nature, to be able to walk around with my shoes off or, like, be on the beach, like, it feels like no matter what situation you're in, like, even back home, like, yeah, I probably should have, put in the effort to be out in nature more. Like, back then, yeah, it was kind of far away, but it was still just, like, a couple of minute drive, and I could have been on a hiking trail. Feels like there's always an excuse, there's always some energy cost to, like, go out and be in nature or to go out and seek some new experience, and we all kind of give ourselves a pass in a way. But like when you really are willing to put in that energy, you get back way more than you put in.
Yeah, definitely. Same with exercise, mental work.
Definitely exercise is so much that way too. Yeah, it's like feels so hard to get myself in the door of a gym, but once I'm there for a couple of hours, it's like once you're in the flow of that, it doesn't feel difficult anymore. It's really
Yeah,
just the resistance of doing anything hard, it feels like is just at the beginning. Even if it's like a totally different type of difficulty, like some math test, once you're deep in the math test, you stop even thinking about it and you're just doing it. And it's somewhat more like, I don't know, easy or fluid, I guess.
yeah, it's never as hard as your mind tells you it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's like when you're in the process of anything, it just becomes more natural than when you're beginning. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about life is that we don't have to, be in this state we're in before we begin. We can transition into just an action, instead of a noun. We can become a verb.
Yeah, that's so true. You just exist and you're just the observer of something happening.
Yeah, it's pretty miraculous if you think about it. Just the fact that, we even have the capability to like be alive and to like experience and do these things, like we kind of like take it for granted almost, and that makes us less likely to want to put in this energy. But it's not natural to, live as like, I don't know, such a domicile existence as I do, and so many of us do. The internet's made it far too easy to feel like you're part of society, even if you're completely alone. Like you can be alone and have loneliness and, be on the internet, and it almost feels like it numbs it a little bit so you don't realize how much it's affecting you. Like I've only talked to you and like a couple of these people at reception for like weeks, and part of me is kind of like lonely, but when I'm online and I'm watching YouTubers, it makes me feel like, yeah, I'm not that lonely. It's all okay.